And a very big aloha. This is Talk Story, Maui's longest running talk show. I've been doing it 34 years. And I was just reminiscing here. I'm so honored today to have two fabulous people on the phone. I've got the two Pats, Pat Sr. and Pat Jr. Hi, Pat. I'm looking at two different lines lit up. That's Pat Sr. on the left side and Pat Jr.'s on the right side. Hi, guys. How are you?
Aloha.
Very good.
Aloha,
Thanks,
Cindy.
Cindy.
It's so good to talk to you.
Pat and Pat.
The two Pats. I was just saying, when Chris calls out Pat, how do you know which one it is?
we still both look up.
You know, it's a good thing you didn't name your kids Pat as well. You have your two twins and girls, Pat Jr. And can you imagine if there was another Pat in the house? I'm sure that would get stopped right away. No idea.
That wouldn't work. That would never work.
It would never
be
work.
odd.
It'd be Pat 3. It was a nice article. John Woodhouse did a very nice article about your story of father and son and how you work together. And, of course, this big event is this coming weekend. The 27th is the day that you're going to be together. And what an honor. I mean, I tell you, when you do these things, usually if it's at the Mac or the McCoy or whatever, you sell out. You sell out. People love seeing both of you together. And we don't that often get to see you both together. I'm trying to think of other times. There's been maybe 2 or 3 times where you have done joint musical events together. But as you said, it was said by John Woodhouse. And I was not aware of how you, Pat Jr., would be on the side wings and get out there on stage and play with the Doobies as the last song. And that's a wonderful thing, to be able to grow into that, so that you never had a fear, did you, of audiences or crowds or anything?
I definitely had my fair share of nerves, and I still get nervous, going out there and performing, even if it's for a small little bar audience or, the Mac or whatever. But
Really?
I definitely got used to it going on stage at a young age with my dad. And, I just want to say again, I'm just so grateful to get to play with you, Dad. It's cool to put something together like this and to be at home and perform for our local crowd for a benefit cause is really fun.
I'm nervous.
You're not. Oh, you're not. You're
I'm
not.
always nervous. I
No.
am.
But you're so mellow. You're so mellow.
I always get butterflies no matter what. Just kind of
Me too.
part of my thing. But we don't do these very often, and it seems like we would do them more often, but we don't. We don't always have the occasion. I mean, we do little things. I might get up with Pat and play a couple songs, and vice versa. Get up and play with us or me on something, but we don't do these kind of formal. The two of us together with kind of equal number of songs and rehearsing. We're actually rehearsing.
Wow. Wow.
We're gonna actually perform with my full band. I just put a new band together here on Maui.
Oh, congratulations. Well,
So we were gonna do just a duo thing, but then we decided, hey, I've been playing so many gigs with this new band I put together, might as well just rock out and give people something to dance to a little louder.
it's Saturday, April 27th at the Playground, and it's only $25. And I really, folks, I'd get tickets right away, because it's right away, right? Because it's probably maybe even already sold out.
We're pretty low still on ticket numbers. I think not super low. I mean, I think we've only sold maybe like a third of the venue out.
What?
But or a quarter of the venue out.
Wow.
But I think also, being Maui, how it is, people always kind of show up last minute. That's kind of how I've seen it to be. But, I just want to say again about this event, I kind of had this vision for putting this together and to help out this resource center. It's this nonprofit organization that helps out families and, homeschool families and have an alternative education kind of thing. And we really wanted to help them out, and they were kind of struggling with their numbers this past year. And, being as it is in our economy right now, I think a lot of people are feeling it. And we thought, hey, might as well put together some great music and help some people out. So.
It's the Maui Ohana Collective. And it is true. It's very, very difficult. I was just talking to Pat Sr. Before you called in, Pat Jr., about you growing up and going to the haiku school and how advanced it was. How advanced it was for its time, just because of the cool people that lived around there, right? which was a treat. But I know you have done, and many people have done, benefits for some of these very other schools that do make a difference, where to hopefully see that kids, like your enlightened kids, I mean, your kids are growing up in the garden with you and playing in the soil and helping in the farm, and to have to do that and then come to a whole other realm where it's not creative, it's got to be really hard. So, of course, you want your kids to have the best environment for learning, where
For
they
sure.
actually, you want them to be able to enjoy going to school, you know?
And it's a little different nowadays. Like I had a friend who actually just was talking, and I'm not trying to downplay. I'm not trying to be, judgmental about public school, but I had a friend recently who was asking the public school about, they were thinking about putting their kid in public school, and they were asking, how much time do they spend on, indoors versus spending outdoors? And the teachers told my friend's mom, or my friend who's got a kid, the school told the lady, told the mother that the kids only spend 2 10-minute recesses outside, and then 75% of the time is on an iPad. They don't even do printed out worksheets anymore. It's all on the iPad.
Oh, that's
So
terrible.
I thought,
yeah.
And I know that a lot of families are in a pinch with the economy, and so public school is a really easy option for most people. But I want to help support families.
It's tough,
with different
because
options.
recess used to be my favorite subject.
Me too.
Totally. And nowadays, when I went to school, we didn't have iPads in this classroom.
Right.
And, we spent a lot of time outside. But nowadays it's a little different, and so that this Maui Ohana Collective is really helping to support families with alternative education and getting kids outside and doing real things and not to be on screens all day. I think a lot of kids already get that at home enough.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
to be on it all day at school is one thing.
So Pat Sr., how many kids in the family besides Pat Jr.? How many is it? 3?
In my siblings,
Family's got 3 boys.
3 boys.
I got 3 boys.
And you got 3. Oh my gosh, poor Chris.
Yeah. We have 3 kids also, and Pat's one of 3. In our family also. So.
Wow. So, but and I know, and this is my field. Communication is so important. I mean, if we think of the movies we've seen, like Good Will Hunting and others, and that communication, if it's taken off by just going to an iPad or a computer and learning that way, that isn't learning by communicating. That is a whole other thing going on there at that point, which concerns me, because there's so much a lack of that communication. But communication is an energy sharing. It's a back and forth. And if you're just looking at a screen, just taking in what that screen says, that's not communication.
And that's not to say that we can't learn things from screens, of course, but I think you need to keep it balanced, and that's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I really don't know, because you haven't talked about it in a long time, Pat Jr. You had a very different life growing up. A life-changing event happened, I think, when you were 18 or 19 years old, where you had to face cancer. Was that 19?
I was actually 23 at the time.
Oh,
It was
okay.
10 years ago, actually. I'm 33 now, so it was 10 years ago.
And when you have something like that, it changes your whole perspective on life. And I'm sure, as a parent, I can't imagine, Pat Sr., when you had to face that, how scary it must have been.
Definitely. It was life-changing for all of us, I think. A reality of that nature, just you start to, certainly reflect on the important things in life, and you realize you don't ever want to sweat the small stuff ever again.
It's true. Yeah.
Your life becomes much simpler, and just, you want your child to be healthy, and that's all that matters, and that's where you put all your energy at that point. And I think, many families have those kinds of experiences, and you all know what I'm talking about out there, anybody that's listening, how your life becomes really focused in a split second. It was a terrible experience, but at the same time, it's probably one of more life-changing moments, probably for me personally, and I know it has to be the same for Pat, but it's the same for any family. You start to reassess the important things in life and all the other noise that's going on outside you all the time that you think you need to pay attention to. It becomes really secondary and certainly less important. So something to remember anyway.
Pat Jr., do you remember what was one of the healing things that happened? Do you remember the things that fed your healing and recovery the most while that you were going through that?
Yeah. I will say that I've always been a nature guy, and I think when I got done, even during and after chemo, I really was just so grateful to be in nature and have experiences back, just having fun and enjoying, and I think my childlike sense of having fun really came out more, and a lot of songs and music started coming out at the time when I got done with my chemotherapy, and then also not long, I would say only just a couple years after my cancer experience, I met my wife, and we now have 3 children together, and that was a time when I really just was realizing, wow, okay, if I'm going to do this, and now is the time to do it. And I'm grateful I found the right one. And I think that really, going through cancer really put things into perspective for me. And so when I saw the opportunity to have children with this woman, I just knew that it was the time to do it. And if I was ever going to be able to have kids, and also, the music that came out of that experience for me was pretty moving as well. And I will say that this song, this single that I just released called Decisions, is really kind of a fruit of that time as well. And how, okay, now that I'm healthy and alive, what do I choose to focus on a day-to-day basis?
Well,
how do I decide what to do? And,
you did a perfect lead-in. Let's play a little of this. This just came out, didn't it?
Yeah, we just released this. We've been sitting on it a little while and weren't sure when the right time to release it was, and I just made my decision that it needed to come out, and at a time when I'm parenting and doing my best to divide my time between music and farming and surfing and being a family man. So, it's called Decisions.
Okay, let's listen to some of it. I love this. It sounds so good. And, I just have to say thank you because, yes, nature is healing. Every day I make a point of getting out there, but you have that right in your backyard. And the energy you get from planting trees and and seeing them grow and having that healing energy. Who's playing on this song?
Well, we had a pretty interesting, aside from the band that's playing the song, we had a cool experience where Dave Mason heard about us doing some recording and decided to drop in on us in the middle of the session and came and recorded the lead guitar part on the song. So that's Dave Mason playing the lead guitar in the middle of the tune.
I love
him. And then we got Hutch Hutchinson on bass.
Wow.
Chris Thomas on drums.
Love him.
I think my dad's keyboard player, Billy Payne from Little Feat, on the keys.
Wow. That's
and
awesome.
John McPhee of the Doobies playing the cello part.
Wow.
And my dad and I singing and playing guitar.
That's such a great combination. What a blessed combination. Dave, of course, I absolutely love. And Hutch, from Bonnie Raitt and all that. To be able to even just get all the people together to record that is pretty huge. Where did you record it?
A couple different places. I think mostly at Chris Thomas's studio. He's got a studio of his own.
In Maui Meadows.
Then,
I used him for my last song I did, yeah.
We did,
I think we did most
some
of it up there.
recording here at the house.
Some at home, maybe a little bit.
At home. And some recording just, different places, just with a laptop at different locations with different people. Just, kind of on the fly, as it were.
Well, you have to, because a lot of these people are on the road, incling you.
Exactly.
You were
So
doing
that's
a
kinda how
huge...
We ended up picking up a lot of those parts with just going here and there.
When did you...
And I did the initial writing of the tune, and then I kind of let my dad take it where he wanted to take it, and it just came out beautifully.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I was going to ask you that, Pat Jr. Usually we want to impress our parents. It's kind of typical. Do you find that you still try to impress your dad and your mom and people you hang out with in the Doobies to do your music? Do you look for their kind of appreciation of what you're doing?
I think maybe subconsciously. I think all in all, I realized that, I'm never going to fill my dad's shoes, of course. I'm never going to fill him, Dad. But I can still, just keep the music going and keep the legacy alive and keep putting out good music.
Yeah, definitely.
Not that I'm ever going to be, I'm not, who knows where I'll be in a number of years musically, but I do my best, I'm having fun with it.
Well, you did that rather intensive tour. It was a huge tour, Pat Sr., and you covered how many cities in that last tour?
What, you're talking to me?
Yeah, talking to you.
Oh.
Talking to me?
I wish I knew. We probably do about 80, 90 shows a year.
That's a lot.
And that's about how many cities we end up. So, 80, 90 cities probably every year.
Yeah.
We've been doing it for, we've been on our 50th anniversary tour for the last 3 years.
I know, and you got to make the most of that.
That one to death.
You got to.
But we actually celebrated 50 years in 2021 was the year that our first album came out. So
that was COVID time. That was when COVID
that
happened.
Out. So
yep.
2021 was 50 years, and here we are 3 years later. We're still on our 50th anniversary tour.
I just watched the Billy Joel 100th concert, and I had to wonder, it's like, well, is that really 100, or were there a couple of times people were sick, or were they? But you got to go with whatever people remember, right? It's like, I saw an interview with you, Pat. It was on the CBS Sunday Morning Show, which I love. I just love what they do on that CBS Sunday Morning Show.
Of course.
And they did an interview with the Doobies and talked about the 50th anniversary and everything. And it was so real. I think that part of you having your beautiful land up there in Haiku really helps keep everything real. Do you find that it's your grounding place that brings it back to what you really care about?
Oh, I think so. But I think I've learned in life, or this is my own philosophy, and I'm sure it's different for different people, but no matter where you go, there you are.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my philosophy.
Yeah.
I try to stay grounded wherever I am. Guys like Willie Nelson, he's probably the most grounded when he's on his bus, going down the road.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So there you go. A guy who could be anywhere, anytime he wants. He'd rather be on his bus out touring. And that's not necessarily, I'm not that way. I like being home as much as I like work. And, I love music, and that's a huge part of my life. But I enjoy my family. I enjoy my home. We're talking about the out of doors. I really appreciate. Living in Maui, we've lived here, 30 years now, and it doesn't get any better than living here in Maui. People come from all over the world just for the experience of, going to a resort, and they feel the peace and the serenity that we kind of feel every day living here. But I don't take it for granted. To me, it's like I feel like that tourist every day. When
Wow.
I get up, I'm here where I love to be, and when I have to leave, I try to carry it with me. That really I learned from living here. I think you spend enough time here. Yeah, you don't even have to spend time here. You just get here, and you can feel the aloha, the spirit. It moves you. You kind of take hold of it, and it takes hold of you. But when you're here for a long time, you absorb it and try to carry it with you wherever you go. And that's kind of like I said, it's kind of my philosophy. I try to live that every day.
Well, it's a long ways from where you started. You also lived in San Jose when the Doobies started. Didn't you live in San Jose when the Doobies started?
Oh, yeah, I grew up there.
Yeah.
I lived there I was 7 years old when I lived there. I lived there most of my life.
And it's not the same nature as
It
Maui.
was beautiful back, when I first moved there. It was kind of countrified. And it's still, as crowded as it is, it still has a certain charm. They did, they planned the area really well as far as, travel and the roads and getting from here to there. And there's something about it that will always be San Jose,
Yeah.
Because, why? Because I knew the way.
To San Jose, da 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 da. Yeah, yeah, that's a good one.
I just want to chime in here real quick, and I don't mean to be a dark cloud, but I will say that I'm aware that, and I think this has just been more and more apparent living here for as long as we have, that we are very privileged in the way that we get to live here, and it's not peaceful and serene for everybody here. And I just want to point that out, that I'm aware of that, and I know that as well as privileged and as well off as we are here on Maui, my family, I acknowledge and I'm aware that there are people struggling right now.
Oh yeah.
There are people, in terms of even in Lahaina, what happened there, but even aside from Lahaina, like just the local Hawaiian people that have been here the longest, they're probably the demographic that's struggling the most. And so I just want to take time to acknowledge that and not just be this, white settler family who's, being successful here, because there are a lot of people who aren't having as peachy of a time.
Well, we have a
but that's why we like
wonderful
to give back
music
with our
scene.
music, too,
Yeah, you do, and so do so many wonderful Hawaiian musicians we get a chance to listen to. But leading into what you said, I want to play the song, Lahaina.
I think it's a good one.
It's a great song, and give us the lead into this, Pat Sr., about the evolution of this song and who you have on Lahaina.
Well, when the fires happened, I was actually off island, visiting friends, and when I heard about the fire, it was just surreal. I couldn't quite wrap my head around it. And almost, when you're not there and you're just talking about something, it's like, well, that couldn't have happened. That can't be. And then when I found out the reality of it, it was devastating. I was pretty devastated. Even now I don't think I don't think any of us have quite recovered from it. I don't know if we ever will. It was such a huge event, and every day, you hear something about it on the news or from from different people about what's happening with this recovery effort. But it's my intention anyway when I wrote the song as a tribute, certainly, and I just kind of, it was sitting there in my heart. I wanted to say something in remembrance, and then I was hoping more than anything to raise some awareness and some funds, raising money. I think that's the biggest thing we can all do at this point. And I knew it then, and I know it now. We just have to keep trying to raise funds to help people who are struggling, because it's such an immense undertaking, and so many people that were devastated that it's just going to take a lifetime really to get people back on
even
their
today
feet.
Still people are having a hard time.
And to hopefully get a lot of those people resettled back where in Lahaina proper, if not in Lahaina, at least somewhere. And so we grabbed on to the People's Fund and found out, I like the concept of that, getting money directly, Oprah Winfrey and Dwayne Johnson came up with this concept of creating a fund that people could just, use immediately. And so that's what's been happening. People are able to draw funding from that account. I've heard something like they've given away something like $60 million. Wow. But anyway, so this song is part of that fundraising activity. I went out and I got a lot of people that I knew and my partners to all contribute money to a little fund that I created, and then in turn, the band turned around and gave that money to the People's Fund. So it's just an ongoing effort. But the basic song is just kind of looking back on what Lahaina was. Everyone knows how horrible it's been, but I wanted people to have the feeling of getting back to Lahaina, and hopefully, I don't know if it's going to take a long time, but I think it will happen, and many people are actually returning. I have friends that are, their insurance is kicking in, and, government programs and so on are helping them to get back on their feet, and a lot of people are going to be rebuilding, I think, in the area, and then it's just going to be an ongoing community effort to see that the town is rebuilt. I know it's going to be different than what it was, but it's still Lahaina. It's still there. It's still something we can all remember what it was and try to create something as good. I don't know if
and he's on the track.
Be better,
he's on the track.
I know that with enough effort that it was a wonderful place before, and it can be a wonderful place again.
Okay, Pat Jr., I don't think you hear. What did you ask?
I was saying maybe you can say who sang on the track, Dad.
Yeah.
Luckily, of course, I had the band. Michael McDonald, myself, and John Shanks, our producer, wrote the song. Jake Shimabukuro is playing some ukulele on there. Henry Capono is singing on the track. Mick Fleetwood is playing drums on the track. And then all the guys in the band, Tommy Johnston, John McPhee, myself, and Mike McDonald are all performing on the track as well. Trying to think. I think that's about it. John Shanks played bass on the track, and I think some guitar as well, maybe some keyboards. And then everybody just kind of jumped in there and sang parts and played, and John McPhee's got doing some really great slide guitar on their Hawaiian-style guitar.
Let's listen.
A beautiful dream I'm trying to remember. Underneath the banyan tree, our love will live forever. Spirits everywhere, they whisper in the wind. Waves that kiss the shore at night are calling us again. It calls to me, Lahaina. Carry me back home. It's calling me, Lahaina. Carry me home. Where I belong. Where I belong. Deep roots of the banyan tree growing in the sand are strong like the people of the island. These living waters are the healing hands of love that brought us here at last, and they call us home again. It calls to me, Lahaina. Carry me back home. It's calling me, Lahaina. Carry me home. Where I belong. Where I belong. It calls to me, Lahaina. Carry me back home. It's calling me, Lahaina. Carry me home. Where I belong. Where I belong.
You know, when I listen to this, both Pats, when I listen to this, what I notice is not only is it's every single element of a great song with full music. These days we don't hear necessarily a full-on group with every single musician playing something wonderfully. We hear a lot of fillers sometimes. But this has not only a beautiful, beautiful melodic piece of music, great words, but every member of the band is amazing.
That's so nice of you, Cindy. We were just really felt good about it when we were done. You know, I felt that it expressed, you know, the beauty that I always feel when I think about Lahaina and my experiences there. You know, I think it's like it was always one of the places that you love to visit when you
Yeah.
visit here,
Yeah.
and it was one of those places where, I love to go and spend time with friends. Mick Fleetwood had his club there. I loved
Yeah.
going there, and Pat used to play there at Fleetwood's, and everybody used to go there and jam and have dinner and hang out and have drinks. It was just
Yep. Well, people can come and hang out and have drinks and have fun at the playground. There are still tickets left. This is going to be an amazing event this coming Saturday. You don't want to miss it. It's only $25 general admission. You can have a VIP ticket for $35. Where's that? No one else can do that. So that's going to be a special experience. It's going to be Pat Jr., Pat Sr. in the band.
Yeah.
Yes?
The doors are at 6, and then we're going to have Matt Dolomo and Orion Hitzig open at 7.
That's wonderful. Well, I thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule. I think you're playing somewhere else tonight, aren't you, Pat?
I
Junior?
am. I'm playing over at the Maui Coast Hotel in Kihei at the Hano Hano Pool Bar. I do that twice a month.
Oh,
Just solo.
Oh, cool. That is so cool.
And then also I wanted to say, too, for both of my dad's song, Lahaina, and my song, Decisions, we both put out some new music videos for each of those songs. So if you're on
Awesome.
YouTube, just type in, Lahaina, Doobie Brothers, and then you can type in Decisions, Pat Simmons Jr., and you can see a brand new music video for both of those.
You got to do that these days. It's part of the whole schedule.
Yeah, we wanted to capture the essence of this, in each of the songs, and I think people will be stoked.
Well, I love both of you. I just am so glad that you had the time to call, and God bless you. We'll see you on Saturday.
Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you so much, Cindy. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for taking the time.
I'm honored. Thank you. Aloha.
All right, you guys. Talk soon.
Okay.